everything changes with one message. A single text. One line that stops Sharon Newman cold. Her hands freeze around the phone. Her breath catches. And for a moment, the entire room feels smaller. Because the message isn't just a message. It's proof. Proof that Matt Clark is still out there. Still watching. Still playing games. And now he wants Sharon to know it. But Sharon isn't the only one about to be shaken. Across Genoa City, secrets are stacking up. Lies are being told. And someone is about to issue a threat so brutal, it could destroy the Abbott family forever. It starts quietly. At Billy Abbott's place. Morning light spills through the windows. Everything feels calm, almost peaceful. Billy and Sally Spectra are wrapped in robes, lingering close together on the couch. They're smiling, relaxed. For once, things feel right. Sally brushes her fingers across Billy's arm and looks at him carefully. There's affection in her eyes, but also caution. Because with Billy Abbott, trust has never been simple. Sally speaks softly. She tells him she's recommitted to this relationship. Completely. But there's one condition. No more lies. No more secrets. If they're going to make this work, Billy has to be honest with her. Billy nods immediately. He tells her things are different now. They've learned how to communicate better. No games, no misunderstandings. Sally smiles. For a moment it feels like they might actually have a chance. Then there's a knock at the door. Billy opens it. And standing there is Phyllis Summers. Her expression is tight, controlled. She steps inside quickly. Billy notices something immediately. Phyllis looks nervous. Too nervous. She clears her throat and jumps straight into an explanation. Apparently there's a problem. A problem with a chancellor contract. Something complicated, something urgent. She claims it needs Billy's attention. Billy listens carefully. But something about this story feels wrong. Very wrong. Because Billy has heard this exact excuse before. Years ago. From Kane Ashby. And that situation didn't end well. Billy remembers it clearly. Kane claimed there was a contract issue. Then shortly after, he betrayed Billy. It's hard. So now Billy watches Phyllis closely. His eyes narrow. He asks her directly, is this another setup? Is she about to stab him in the back? Phyllis reacts instantly. She looks offended. Almost insulted. She tells Billy he's being paranoid. Overreacting. There's no betrayal happening here. Just business. Nothing more. Billy wants to believe her. But the feeling in his gut says otherwise. Something is off. Phyllis finishes her explanation quickly. Then she leaves. The door closes behind her. Billy stands there for a moment. Silent. Sally notices the tension immediately. Billy finally exhales. He says it out loud. Something is going on with Phyllis. And whatever it is, it's not going to end well for him. The feeling grows stronger by the second. Billy grabs his phone. There's only one person he trusts for advice in moments like this. Jack Abbott. Billy leaves him a voicemail. He says he needs to talk. Urgently. Because things are starting to feel dangerous. But Billy has no idea just how dangerous things are about to become. Far away from the calm of Genoa City, Kane Ashby sits inside a moving train. And across from him sits Daniel Romalotti Jr. The atmosphere is tense. Daniel is skeptical. Guarded. Kane leans forward. He begins explaining something important. Something about Phyllis. Kane says Daniel doesn't see the full picture. Yes, Phyllis just gained power. Yes, she fought hard to win. But according to Kane, the victory is hollow. Because Phyllis has lost something far more important. Her children. Daniel shifts uncomfortably. He doesn't buy it. In his mind, Phyllis only cares about control. Power. Being in charge. That's always been her pattern. But Kane shakes his head. He insists something has changed. He claims he's seen a genuine shift in Phyllis. A real one. Daniel raises an eyebrow. Kane continues. He presents a surprising idea. Maybe there's a way for everyone to win. Daniel listens more carefully now. Kane suggests that Daniel and Summer Newman hold something incredibly valuable. Forgiveness. If they offer Phyllis forgiveness, in exchange for her stepping down from power, everything could change. Daniel doesn't respond immediately. He thinks, is it possible? Could Phyllis actually be unhappy with everything she's gained? Kane makes it sound believable. He tells Daniel that sometimes people reach the top only to realize they've lost what mattered most. Daniel considers the possibility. Maybe his mother really is struggling. Maybe power isn't enough anymore. But the uncertainty remains. Because trusting Phyllis Summers has never been easy. Back in Genoa City, Crimson Lights is buzzing with quiet conversation. Tessa Porter sits across from Sharon Newman. They're catching up, talking carefully. Sharon brings up something important. She says she'd like to spend some time with Aria. Soon. Tessa nods politely. But Sharon hesitates before continuing. She gently suggests something else. Maybe Mariah could come too. Just for a short visit. Tessa's expression tightens. Because she already knows the answer. Mariah isn't ready. Not yet. Sharon admits that. Mariah told her directly. She needs more time. Tessa quietly agrees. Honestly, seeing Mariah right now might confuse Aria. And maybe hurt everyone even more. The pain between them still feels fresh. Still raw. At that moment, Daniel walks in. He approaches their table. Tessa greets him warmly. Daniel sits down. Then he shares the latest update. About Phyllis. About everything happening around her. Tessa listens carefully. Then she says something surprising. If she were in Daniel's position, she might give Phyllis another chance. Daniel studies her face. Then he asks a difficult question. What if the situation were reversed? What if Mariah asked for forgiveness? Would Tessa give it? Tessa pauses. The answer doesn't come easily. She admits she honestly doesn't know. Right now she doesn't think Mariah even wants forgiveness. Mariah hasn't tried to reconnect. Hasn't asked for reconciliation. That silence says a lot. So Tessa prepares herself for the possibility of moving on. Completely. Meanwhile, back on the trains, Phyllis arrives. She joins Kane. And immediately explains what she just did. She stalled Billy. Used the contract excuse. Kane's reaction is instant. Disapproval. Because that exact excuse is the same one he once used on Billy. And Billy will remember. It's going to raise red flags. Phyllis shrugs it off. She's focused on something else. Daniel. Kane admits he made some progress with him. But Daniel is still undecided. Still on the fence. And that's not good enough for Phyllis. She needs certainty. She needs control. Kane suggests they may need someone else to help influence Daniel. Someone he trusts. Phyllis thinks for a moment. Then the answer becomes obvious. Tessa. Daniel will listen to Tessa. Kane considers it. But before making any move, he asks for time. Just 24 hours. Meanwhile, at the Newman ranch, Victoria Newman is packing. Frustrated. She's complaining to Victor and Nikki. Nick hasn't been answering his phone. No texts. No calls. Nothing. The silence is worrying. But suddenly, the front door opens. Nick walks in. And the room instantly shifts. Victoria demands an explanation. Nick stays calm. He admits something surprising. He ignored their messages on purpose. Because he knew what would happen. If they reached him, they would try to stop him. Stop his plan. Nick explains what he did. He flew to Los Angeles. Trying to find Matt. Trying to track him down. But the search failed. Completely. Matt Clark has gone underground. Nick turned over every stone he could find. But there was nothing. No trace. Nicky sighs in relief. Because if Nick had actually found Matt, things could have gotten dangerous. Very dangerous. Nick might have crossed a line he couldn't come back from. But now the conversation shifts. Victor speaks. And when Victor Newman speaks, everyone listens. Victor says he's done waiting. Done relying on Kane's strategy. He has his own plan now. A new one. And it's already in motion. Victoria asks for details. Victor refuses. He only reveals one thing. The plan does not involve Lily Winters or the twins. Victor says something else. Something chilling. He should have used this strategy from the beginning. Then Victor pulls out his phone and sends a message to Billy Abbott. A simple instruction. Come to the ranch. It's urgent. Billy reads the message a short time later. He heads to the ranch immediately. When he arrives, Victor doesn't waste time. The room feels tense. It's heavy. Victor delivers the ultimatum. Cold. Direct. Chancellor will belong to him again by the end of the day. The Abbott family will never see Jack again. Billy freezes. Because suddenly, everything makes horrifying sense. Jack Abbott hasn't been answering his phone. Not even Billy's voicemail. And now Victor is making threats. Which means one terrifying possibility becomes real. Jack Abbott may already be gone. Kidnapped. And Billy has just been given the most impossible choice of his life. But the nightmare in Genoa City isn't finished yet. Because somewhere else, a phone lights up. And Sharon Newman is about to read a message that will make her blood run cold. Sharon Newman stares at the screen. Her heart skips. Because the message sitting in front of her isn't random. It's deliberate. Calculated. True. Nick stands beside her at crimson lights. He leans closer. What is it? Sharon slowly turns the phone toward him. Nick reads the text. 3 short sentences. But they hit like a punch. Matt Clark is apologizing. Apologizing for missing Nick in Los Angeles. Nick's jaw tightens. Because that means only one thing. Matt knew Nick was there. He knew Nick was searching for him. And he was watching the entire time. Sharon gasps softly. A chill runs through her. Because Matt didn't just avoid Nick. He wanted Nick to know he had been close. Close enough to see him. Close enough to mock him. Nick clenches his fists. This isn't just hiding anymore. It's psychological warfare. Matt is playing games. And now he's dragging Sharon directly into them. Sharon whispers something that barely comes out. How long has Matt been watching them? Nick doesn't answer. Because he doesn't know. But the thought alone is terrifying. Matt could be anywhere. Across the street. Inside the city. Or already far away again. But one thing is clear. He's enjoying this. Enjoying the controls. Enjoying the fear. Back at the Newman ranch, the atmosphere is no less intense. Billy Abbott stands face to face with Victor Newman. Victor looks calm. Almost relaxed. Which makes the situation even worse. Billy tries to keep his voice steady. He demands answers. Where is Jack? Victor doesn't respond immediately. He simply studies Billy. Like a chess player studying the board. Finally, Victor speaks. Jack Abbott's fate now depends on Billy. That's the reality. Billy feels anger rise inside him. Victor continues calmly. Chancellor belongs to him. It always should have. And by the end of the day, Billy will make the right decision. Or Jack will disappear. Forever. Billy's pulse races. This isn't business. This is war. He realizes something else. Victor is absolutely serious. Victoria watches silently. Nicky looks uneasy. But Victor remains completely composed. Billy demands proof. Proof that Jack is actually in danger. Victor smiles faintly. Then he says something that makes Billy's stomach drop. Billy shouldn't test him. Because once Victor makes a move like this, he doesn't reverse it. Billy suddenly understands the scale of what's happening. Jack may already be in captivity, hidden somewhere, and the clock is ticking. Back on the trains, Ashby watches Phyllis Summers carefully. Phyllis is restless, impatient. She wants results. Reminds her that Daniel is thinking, considering the possibility of reconciliation. But Phyllis shakes her head. Thinking isn't enough. She needs certainty. Kane suggests patience. Just one day. 24 hours. Phyllis exhales sharply. She hates waiting, especially when control is within reach. But Kane insists. Pushing Daniel too hard could backfire. Phyllis finally nods. Reluctantly. Then she brings up the key piece of their strategy. Tessa. Daniel trusts her. If anyone can reach him, it's Tessa Porter. Kane considers the idea. But even he knows this plan could explode. Because Tessa's own life is a mess right now. And dragging her into Phyllis' drama might make things worse. Meanwhile, back at Crimson Lights, Daniel finishes his conversation with Tessa. But something about the discussion lingers in his mind. Forgiveness. Second chances. Those words echo inside him. Because despite everything, Phyllis is still his mother. That truth never disappears. Tessa watches Daniel carefully. She can see the conflict in his eyes. Daniel finally asks one more question. Does she believe people can really change? Tessa thinks about it. Her answer is quiet. Sometimes they can. But change only matters if it's real. Not temporary. Daniel nods slowly. Because that's exactly what he's afraid of. Phyllis has changed before. Or at least claimed to. But those changes rarely lasted. Now Daniel wonders if this time might actually be different. Or if he's about to be disappointed all over again. Across town, Nick and Sharon are still processing Matt's message. Nick keeps staring at the phone, trying to read between the lines. Matt didn't just miss him. He wanted Nick to know it. Which means Matt had eyes on him. Recently, Nick feels a wave of frustration. He was so close. But Matt slipped away again. Sharon gently asks the question both of them are thinking. Why send the message at all? Nick answers slowly. Because Matt wants attention. He wants control. And right now, he's succeeding. Sharon feels the fear rising again. If Matt is watching them, what will he do next? Nick tries to reassure her. But even he doesn't sound convinced. Meanwhile, back at the ranch, Billy is still locked in a silent standoff with Victor. Victor's patience never wavers. Billy tries to negotiate. He asks for time. Time to confirm Jack's safety. Victor shakes his head. Time is the one thing Billy doesn't have. The deadline is today. Billy feels the weight of the choice crushing down on him. If he refuses Victor's demand, Jack could die. If he gives Victor Chancellor, everything Billy has built disappears. Victor stands. The conversation is over. Billy must decide. Soon, Billy walks out of the ranch with his mind spinning. This is bigger than a business deal. This is family. And Victor Newman has just made it personal. Back on the trains, Phyllis stares out the window as the landscape passes by. Her mind is racing. Everything is close. So close. Powers. Control. Victory. But Kane's words keep echoing. Forgiveness. Her children. Daniel. Summer. Phyllis hates admitting it. But Kane might be right. Winning means nothing if her family stays broken. Still, Phyllis isn't ready to give up everything she fought for. Not yet. Because Phyllis Summers never walks away easily. Not from powers. Not from controls. Not from a fight. Meanwhile, Daniel leaves Crimson Lights alone. His thoughts are heavy. Because the idea Kane planted in his mind won't disappear. What if forgiveness really could change everything? What if offering Phyllis another chance could fix things? Or what if it only gives her another opportunity to hurt them again? Daniel stops walking. He stares into the distance. Because deep down, he still wants to believe his mother can change. But belief and reality aren't always the same. And across Genoa City, several dangerous games are now unfolding at once. Victor's ruthless ultimatum. Phyllis' risky manipulation. Matt Clark's terrifying mind games. Each move pushes the city closer to chaos. But the most frightening truth may be this. Matt Clark is still out there. Still watching. Still planning. And if Sharon and Nick think the messages are the worst of it, they may be about to discover something far more dangerous. Because when Matt Clark plays mind games, the real damage usually comes next. So the question now becomes terrifyingly simple. What exactly is Matt planning? And who will be the first victim when his next move begins?